Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us at Hanapin for our Flash webinar series. Today we're going to be talking about getting started with A/B ad testing. My name is Lauren Rosner, and I am a Senior Production Specialist here at Hanapin Marketing. If you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter at LKRosner. Let's go ahead and get started. So the other day I was reading Dr. Seuss to my 9-month-old son, Oh, the Things You Can Think, and my mind wandered to PPC, as it often does at the most random times, and I started to think, well, if you can think it, you can test it. And while that gives you endless possibilities, that's not always useful when trying to make actionable decisions for your account. So where do we begin? If you've never done A/B testing for ad copy in your account, it can be a bit overwhelming to figure out where to begin. There are lots of different ways you can segment your testing groups. Are you going to test account-wide, ad groups, campaigns, top performing campaigns? But there are a couple things to keep in mind. You don't want to put a B2B and a B2C campaign in the same testing group, as the messaging might be different. And you want to think about the size and scope of testing. So if you are testing within a low traffic campaign, you'll need to let the test run longer than if you are in a high traffic campaign. But once you have your testing group selected, go about finding your control, and do this just by finding the best performing ad currently running. So judge this however you're going to judge the results of your A/B test. Impressions until conversions, click-through rate, revenue per impression. If you're just starting out and not sure where to begin, I recommend starting with click-through rates, and then once you garner some data as you go through your testing, you can make a more informed decision at that time. So the process of getting the control ad selected and getting your account cleaned up can be tedious, so give yourself a high five if you've got that cleaned up and you're ready to go. So now for the fun part. Look at your testing group, look at your account, and then think about your audience. Ask yourself, what question do I want to answer? For me, for this client here, a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center, they have continually used ad copy speaking to someone in need of rehab services. The current copy, do you need to go to rehab? Get the help you need now, call today. So I wanted to know what happens if we talk to a different audience. And thanks to back-end data from the client, I knew that oftentimes someone calling in or chatting with admissions counselors, oftentimes it was not the person actually needing rehab, but rather a family member or a friend or a spouse. So I wanted to know what happens if we talk to those people, what happens to the click-through rate. So I introduced test copy is someone you know in need of rehab, get them help, call now. So what happened? As you can see, our control had a 1.84% click-through rate, whereas our test resulted in 2.23% click-through rates. And fantastic. Now I know that it performs better speaking to someone you know versus do you need to go to rehab. So what now? So I know information about my audience, and now as I go through the next round of testing, I'm just going to make a slight change rather than a big sweeping message change. So when you kind of cycle through the A/B testing, it's going to look a bit like this. So you're going to make big changes to smaller changes to smaller changes still. In this example, I've got description lines A versus description lines B. The next round, looking at the winning description lines with headline A versus winning description lines with headline B. The next round would be title case versus sentence case. Obviously, these are just examples, and if we go back to my first screen about what you can test, you can pretty much enter anything into this funnel here as you go down. And then you'll cycle back to the top. So once you've got those minor changes, minor tweaks, you're going to go back to the top, and this allows for you to be able to make adjustments with seasonality, messaging, branding, etc., and then constantly hone in on minute details. So the ultimate goal is to move the needle in your account through constant testing. And so how does that affect your accounts and the metrics on whole? So in these two examples, you can see the travel agency, the test was a larger sweeping messages, experience-based messaging versus credibility-based messaging. Prior to the test, 1.28% click-through rate. At the conclusion of the test, the ad testing group posted a 1.56 click-through rate, so a 22% increase in click-through rate. But on the flip side, a supplement e-com client, very small change, sentence case versus title case. Click-through rate for the ad testing group was 2.84% prior to the test, and at the conclusion, 3.38%, so a 19% increase in click-through rate. So really important to keep in mind that no matter what the changes you are making in your ad test, the hope and the overall goal is that you will be moving that needle in the right direction through constant testing. And from there, you can start making very actionable decisions and choices when it comes to ad copy. So thank you so much for joining me today and joining us here at Hanapin. If you have any feedback, we always welcome that. Contact us directly at marketing@hanapinmarketing.com and follow me on Twitter. Thank you so much and have a great day.